It is February 19th, 2024, and it is 5:30, so I call the meeting to order. First on our agenda is to conduct a public hearing to consider a request to rezone the property located at 202 East Cornwall, also known as East 1/2 of Lot 8, all of Lot 9, Block 13, Hunter Subdivision to B1, General Business District, currently zoned R2, second single-family dwelling district. On a public hearing, we can listen and we cannot reply. After the public hearing, we will go to the deliberation, and at that time, we can have back and forth. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak on this agenda item?
I probably couldn't make it this evening, so I'll be telling you about it. Basically, they own the lot next to it with their warehouse, and they want to rezone this lot for parking for that purpose. There was a home on it that Harvey did a real number on. They just recently demolished that. The future land use map does show commercial use, so staff recommends approval.
Okay. Do I have any other questions, concerns? All right. We will continue with the public hearing. We're going to conduct a public hearing to consider a request to replat property previously platted located at 502 Baywatch Drive, also known as Lot 4, Baywatch Subdivision, being 5.010 acres, City of Rockport, Aransas County, Texas. If you would, the property owner wishes to speak. They have unlimited time. Everyone else gets 3 minutes. Correct?
I am Bridget Brundrett with Griffith & Brundrett Surveying and Engineering here in Rockport. I am representing the property owner. He is not here today. I'm just here to answer any questions that y'all have when you get to the agenda item. If you need history on the why and the where and the how, I'll be happy to provide that. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak during the public hearing portion? Okay, if you'll come forward and state your name and address, please. We got a 3-minute thing going on.
My name is Dale Martinez. My address is 802 Baywatch, Rockport, Texas. Okay. I, Dale Martinez, and my wife Michelle Martinez are owners of Lot 802 Baywatch, are in opposition to replat Lot 502 Baywatch Drive. Reason one, as a land and homeowner in Baywatch subdivision, we purchased and built our dream home here because it offered large acre tracts with waterfront, beautiful natural scenery, wildlife, and a private drive for security, privacy, and a peace of mind away from the city traffic and noise. This is our perfect paradise, as are the sentiments to most of my neighbors back behind me that purchased lots here. It is not the intent of this subdivision to subdivide or replat the term Baywatch subdivision into small lot tracts, but to allow acreage home sites for privacy, nor was the infrastructure put in for that purpose. It is not fair for those of us who chose this subdivision to build to have somebody come in and try to change the serenity and character of the subdivision. Reason two, the Baywatch subdivision was developed with lots over 5 acres and was exempt from the City of Rockport subdivision and planning ordinance. That's referenced Chapter 90 in the subdivisions and platting. Subchapter 90-3 conditions paragraph C say any owner of land subdividing such land lots greater than 5 acres each, where each lot has direct access from an existing road or street or right-of-way, shall be exempt from these platting requirements. Attempts to subdivide lots 5 acres or under to be referenced Chapter 90-3 conditions paragraph B. Any owner of land located inside the corporate limits of the city wishing to subdivide land lots into 5 acres or less shall submit to the City Planning and Zoning Commission a planned subdivision which shall conform to the minimum requirements as set forth in these regulations and city comprehensive plan. Concerns to meeting these ordinances, that subdivision only has a 2-inch water main. According to TCEQ, and that 2-inch covers 10 lots in that subdivision. According to TCEQ, minimum lot line for 10 homes is 2-inch. Adding more lots would exceed the TCEQ code. Baywatch is a private, dead-end street, and because of the length of the drive, it will not meet the city ordinance with a dead-end apparatus access road turnaround for emergency vehicles and responders if allowed to replot under 5 acres. That's in subchapter 90-49, paragraph I, and see figure D 103. Septic systems, city ordinance for a septic system is a minimum half-acre lot to follow Aransas County regulations. I have concerns if they split that front lot up there, the front waterfront lot is divided. The lots may not meet the county requirements using the actual mean high tide line as used for the density of the property when the property line intrudes into the bay. Fire hydrants, if they subdivide, are they going to require fire hydrants, which again exceeds the current size of our water main? Drainage, there's no stormwater management plan out there, and the drainage is bad. The water stacks up in the property. Short-term rentals, if they intend to build vacation rentals, that is not allowed for the Baywatch deed restrictions. And if they're just replotting to sell lots, will the unsuspecting buyers be aware of additional costs to meet city ordinances? Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Russell Jackson. I currently reside at 302 Baywatch Drive. And if I may, before we start, I want to leave this with y'all to put in my packet, kind of give you some good color photos of the flooding he's talking about. So okay, thank you. I'm not going to come back and beat this same thing to death. Mr. Martinet has already pointed out that the water line does not meet the TCEQ basic requirements. But dividing this lot lengthwise does restrict the size of the lots, and they do not run at a perfect parallel size. They're basically making them only about 65, 66 feet wide. These sewage lines have to be 25 foot from the water's edge, 25 foot from the main roadway and drainage, and 10 foot either side of the property lines, even one that supposedly goes down the middle of that property. I'm concerned that may not match. When my wife and I bought this property originally, we bought it from Mrs. Myers, who created that subdivision. We all fell in love with the fact that we had roughly 136 foot of frontage on the water, nice sized lots. Now we have almost to create down the middle and build houses on top of each other, which gives you no room whatsoever for any kind of outbuildings or whatever. So now we're creating a problem not only for the different side houses being that close together, there's an increased problem on that drainage that I show photos of there. They already affect the road and undermine the stability of it. At the time when my wife and I built our house, and everyone who will build a house there, the damage to that particular driveway is going to be, potentially catastrophic. My wife and I spent a lot of money after we built our house to come back in to rebuild and put that road back together. I'm not sure the current owner has actually taken time to think about those issues. Not only are we talking about the drainage, the sewage, and the water, but the roadway. And when you plat with that many lots together, you're passing that problem on and creating more of an issue without addressing the basic ones we have with the road. And again, the cul-de-sac at the end of that road doesn't even conform to the emergency vehicles, which we had an incident not long ago, needing fire trucks to come to a call at the end of that road, making it extremely difficult for any kind of emergency response whatsoever. And when we do put in those many homes, that line has to be resized from a 2-inch to a 6-inch line to accommodate a fire hydrant in that area. That road is at a dead end. And I have found out, especially after we did this little detour, not just recently, that all the people have to come down there to turn around include large trucks, equipment, even people pulling RVs into that area, which makes it extremely difficult. So before we replat this property, we need to address those issues, the water line, the sewage, as well as the aesthetic and the values of the homes that are going to be affected by this real narrow replat. I thank you for your time.
the public. Oh, I'm sorry, thank you for keeping me on track. I'll put that back here somewhere, okay. This is from Edward Botello, 5401 Kane Drive in Corpus Christi. Yeah, yeah. So I guess that's his home address, but he does, yeah, his property abuts the. Edward and Diane Botello, owners of 402 Baywatch Drive, Rockport, Texas, 5401 Kane Drive, Corpus Christi, Texas, 78411. February 16th, 2024, City of Rockport Building and Development Department, Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council. Replat concerns. 1, replat of the waterfront portion of the property by splitting it lengthwise into 2 separate narrow strips of less than 70 feet in width destroys the aesthetic value of our subdivision, not to mention the property value. As the property owner of the adjacent lot to 502, this will directly affect my property. I have many concerns. We bought this property with the intentions of building a home with plenty of elbow room. The approximately 140-foot wide water frontage guaranteed us this possibility. We do not want another home so closely built to the property line. 2, water main. We have been informed the subdivision has only 2-inch water main line. This can handle 10 taps according to TCEQ. Allowing for replat will affect the amount of taps for our subdivision. We should not incur any additional charges to make this changes. This would be unfair and undue financial burden to all landowners. 3, septic system. We have been informed the septic system also has requirements and rules in regards to placement. Being the adjacent lot to 502, we would be directly affected by this issue. We do not want raw sewage smell or accidental spill over to our property because of it being placed so close to our property. We never expected to have this issue with any of our neighbors. Number 4, drainage. We do not have proper drainage. Therefore, the property in question floods severely when it rains. Our property floods as well, making it a mosquito-infected mess. Our fear is this issue will only be exacerbated by the splitting of this lot. Splitting the property lengthwise increases drainage to the roadway from 2 houses and 2 septic systems. 5, roadway. The condition of the road due to flooding right at the property in question needs to be repaired and adequate drainage installed or improved. The roadway will be severely impacted when construction begins. Our roadway will need a lot of repair and upgrades such as fire hydrants at some point. I don't believe the owner of Lot 502 is aware or fully informed of all these issues and costs related to such a request to replat the property. Conclusion, we are not opposed to a replat of our subdivision. We are, however, opposed to this particular replat, which affects the waterfront portion of our property, as per all the reasons stated above. So we can close the public hearing portion and move to the regular agenda, which the next item will be deliberate and act on approval of the regular meeting minutes of February 5th, 2024.
I noticed after I sent them to you that it said, on this the 15th day of February, so I corrected that to say the 5th day.
Oh, okay. So if there's no additions or corrections for the minutes, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion. Minutes from February 5th.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
No, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, regular agenda, item number 5, deliberate and act on a request to rezone the property located at 202 East Cornwall, also known as East 1/2 of Lot 8, all of Lot 9, Block 13, Hunter subdivision, to B1 General Business District, currently zoned R2 Second Single Family Dwelling District. This is the one Carrie was speaking of with the parking lot. To me, it seems like a,
There were no calls, no letters of opposition, no.
staff recommends approval. Like you said, if they tore down the building and anybody else have questions, concern? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay. So now we were back at item number 6, deliberate and act on the final replat of property located at 502 Baywatch Drive, also known as Lot 4, Baywatch subdivision, being 5.010 acres, City of Rockport, Aransas County, Texas.
Chairperson, there were other letters of opposition in your packet. I'm not sure that you need to read. I think they need to be made a record, on record.
Yeah,
they
they're
didn't
gonna
show it.
just be part of the record, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was one, Ms. Cooper's. Mr. Jackson spoke, who's the other one? And Cruz, there was a couple of cruises.
All in opposition.
Yeah, Mr. Jackson spoke. Keith Cruz, I don't know if you're supposed to read those or not, is what I'm saying.
Whatever I need to do to make it,
I'm sorry.
whatever I need to do, if I need to
Well,
make it.
they're part of the record because they're in the packet. I just didn't know how you handle those things. Okay.
I would say that, you know, we pretty much get the idea of how
Yeah,
the neighbors feel, and I understand that, and,
okay. Well, the concerns that staff has, and the reason for the recommendation for denial is I was not aware that it was only a 2-inch water line until after the fact. And by TCEQ standards, you can only service 10 taps. This will create an additional 3, I believe. So it is up to the subdivider, the developer, to provide that infrastructure. Now, if Mr., gosh, I'm sorry, I already forgot his name.
Pam?
Yes, Mr. Pham wishes to do that, then he can come back with the construction plans and resubmit. But at this time, I don't see.
And the road.
Well, and sagebrush, well, sagebrush is a dedicated right-of-way, but it's not improved. So the purchaser of that lot would be required to build a road before building a home, and that's another thing that, infrastructure that's supposed to be provided by the developer. When you start developing lots less than 5 acres, you're subject to all these requirements.
Well, the question I have, and I don't know if, Bridget, you can help, you know, we've got the lots divided basically lengthwise,
Mhm.
and you've got, what's the name of that little street that, can we?
Baywatch, can you put that plat
This
up there? Okay, yeah, that,
This,
oh, the next one, just go to the next one.
there
Yeah,
you go, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one, who sent that?
Yeah, so,
I like that.
I believe there's a residence, keep going up. Right, you can see the house, you can see the road.
Where it stops, yeah.
That it stops. So there's no way for anybody to get to these lots on this side unless there's egress from, correct, Bridget, or what's it?
Sagebrush, where you can see where the sagebrush turns from the far west. The platted right-of-way goes all the way through. However, Mr. Ditmar's property, back in 2000, when we were originally platting Baywatch subdivision, we were going to run a water line onto the from the Copano Cove water system down Sagebrush, and they were going to open that right-of-way all the way through where it is platted to meet Salt Lake Road. However, Mr. Ditmar has had that fenced in probably since the 70s, and when we were surveying, he said, "Over my dead body, will you cross my property?" So they actually they brought a water line in from Lago Vista and brought it across to Old Salt Lake, and that's where they tied the 2-inch water line to service the lots for the original Baywatch lots. Am I correct, Carrie? Did I get it right? Okay. The county wanted to provide a secondary egress into Copano Cove, and the event Rattlesnake Point Road was closed off for some reason. So they acquired the right-of-way, which is, because Mr. Ditmar said, over his dead body, so they acquired the other right-of-way where it meanders down to hit Old Salt Lake. So if this is approved and the owner of Lot 4E wants to have access, he would have to extend from west to east where it ties on at the curve there, which would be cost prohibitive in my opinion.
Area. I mean, that's pretty good.
It's a pretty good length, yes.
And it's kind of an odd shaped lot as well.
It is. It's going around Mr. Ditmar. He's now deceased, but his wife still lives there. It goes around his horse pasture. And also, when these were originally divided, because Baywatch Drive is a private ingress-egress, the city at that time required all of them to have 50-foot on these platted roadways. So either sagebrush as platted or also Old Salt Lake Road. So that's why all the lots are 5 acres plus, but they also have a secondary access if it's ever needed. But again, as the neighbors can attest, that's not something that was planned for the cost, nor was it expected back when it was originally platted.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for?
I have one. In addition to the utilities, the water main, would a drainage plan also have to be a consideration or addressed?
Engineer drainage.
Yes, because it's over, four lots, so it's technically considered a major plat, which is why it would come before P&Z and council. It doesn't go to council, but engineering would be required.
My concern would be, I know it's been mentioned that there's a mean high tide that has not been identified yet for the 2 lots that are attached to the water frontage, more or less. Has that been identified? Is that marked?
That is identified. Yes.
It is. We shot the shoreline, and then I discussed with Carrie prior to this, how, because technically the 25-foot rear building line is from the property line, but in this case, we shot the shoreline and then we moved it back another 25 feet from there. But that's, the shoreline is not necessarily the mean high water, but it's pretty close. There's not a lot of tidal fluctuation in Salt Lake.
No.
More, what kind of variance is he allotted in there for building a structure and still, placement of a septic on that property to make sure that he can hit those tolerances?
All valid points, yes.
I'm not certain that the county was presented with that.
Right. They had, by state law, they have to be, because they have public water, but not sewer, they have to be a minimum of a half acre.
Okay. Anything else for?
And on behalf of Mr. Pham also, I'm glad the public hearing process went out because we have now an opportunity to tell him the concerns brought by the neighbors. And I think this is certainly something he will go back and address, and he will certainly appreciate their feedback, because nobody wants to be the person in the neighborhood that makes everybody else mad. So I will certainly relay this to Mr. Pham, the concerns, and hopefully, we can reconfigure if it is turned down, or, come up with another option, at least for him to get his costs associated with upgrading the line, and also if he had to upgrade and bring in, extend sagebrush to a point. Those are costs that he's gonna need to look into and be aware of.
Yeah, that's,
The TCEQ requirements for utilities, including water and the septic on the closeness of the lines, especially because it is so close to the waterway and everything, that will be something that will be considered. And, they have to meet certain requirements for not being so close to the water lines and also to the bay there and stuff. So, all that. There's lots of obstacles to overcome.
looks like, yeah, it's kind of a tough,
And if he wants to come back in with, I guess, a redesign of what he's wanting to do out there, the first thing is he has to meet all the TCQ requirements and the roadway requirements and those kinds of things. If he can bring us something that meets all those requirements, he may have to scale it back considerably from what he's proposing right now. And again, even if he comes back with a redesign, you still have the neighbors that want to see what it is and ensure that it's not something that's gonna be, detrimental to them and their existence, so.
okay? Anything else for Bridget?
Well, I think that it's obvious that the whole neighborhood, from the letters we've gotten in the show here tonight, that the neighbors don't want to see this subdivided at all. They see the original intent of the developer, and they want to keep their neighborhood that way, and they're outspoken about that, so.
Reasons for denial have to be presented per code. So the fact that it does not meet the actual subdivision requirement for infrastructure, if you deny, that would be the reason.
Okay.
It just doesn't fit with the roadways and utilities. And the drainage, no matter what plan he comes in with, he has to come with an engineer design drainage plan that meets all the requirements. So that will be after the fact. Right now, the only thing that we can tell you is staff recommends denial based upon the fact that there's too many infrastructure upgrades that we'll have to sit down and negotiate with the developer for him to provide. And then if he's willing to provide those things, then we go back to the TCQ requirements for the placement of utilities to ensure that they're able to do what he wants to do.
And come back to P and Z.
Yes.
It will be another public hearing.
Yeah.
Premature.
So our motion can be
You would deny it, and then he could come
as
back-
presented
Right.
without going into detail, or do we need?
Based on it not meeting the requirements of
Okay.
the subdivision.
And you're basically putting it back to the developer for him to, come in and figure out exactly what it is he has to do to upgrade the infrastructure and ensure that he meets all TCQ requirements. And if he can do that and make it fit, then we'll come back and do it.
Make that motion.
Well, if they wanted to
Oh, okay.
speak, we're still,
Did you have a question?
do you want to put on
You
hold
answer.
or something?
Sure.
I answered.
Okay, so y'all are all good?
I think I'd also like to see, his overall plan on how he's gonna improve the ingress and egress for emergency services as you're adding additional residences out there and brings it into a subdivision that needs to be serviced adequately by
And that,
Rockport.
yes, and that is a private road, so that would be amongst all the folks out there.
Right.
Yeah. You will have to improve it at least to where he is for emergency vehicles.
Right.
So motion to deny as presented and specifically does not meet current requirements.
Current code requirements.
Current code.
Code requirements, yes.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Let's do a,
Roll call?
yeah, please. I'm sorry.
Mr. Bassett,
No.
you saying no to not deny, or?
Oh, no, deny. It's obviously premature.
Mr. Warren?
Deny.
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 Tonight.
Mr. Josh?
Okay,
So the motion passes unanimously.
okay. So it goes back to the developer on that. Sorry about that, Carrie. I gotcha. All right, moving along on our agenda, we're gonna discuss regarding training provided by Health to determine available dates.
It was settled, we want a full day of training, so.
Let me just say, if y'all need to leave, that's fine. And if you need to discuss something in the hall, if you'll wait till you get around the corner, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out.
It's quite a turnout.
Yeah. We're small.
I wish more folks would attend our meetings.
I know,
the truth?
it's nice to.
You had your share, haven't you? Okay, so we settled on we want to do the full day of training, and I hope that you all can participate. It's going to be good. And we're going to feed you. I'll make sure that you're there.
Yum.
But you know how I like to. So we have a choice of, we decided that probably a Wednesday or a Thursday is the best day to do that, not a Monday, not a Friday. So they are available either March 20th or 21st as a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Okay.
Or March 27th or 28th. Now, that is Easter week, so I don't know if that's a problem for anyone, if you're like going out of town or anything. It's not for me. So it's up to you.
So it's, what were the,
The 20th or 21st, which is a Wednesday and a Thursday, and the 27th or 28th, the following week, also a Wednesday and a Thursday. It's only gonna be one of those days, but you got 4.
I'm out on all four.
Oh, no.
I can't do the 2021.
I can't either. But I'm available 27 or 28.
I'm available any one of the 4.
I can do it. As long as I'm on that.
Well, that's you, Tom, which we just proposed.
Either one for me, but, I'm happy with the second.
Okay, the 27th or 28th, okay. Come on, make you do that.
I'm retired, I have no.
Not on any of those four, I can do the week after.
Oh, darn. It's gonna be a good training. Maybe I'm hoping, it's a PowerPoint thing, I'm hoping I can get it.
Yeah.
And you could maybe just sit and.
Do a study of it.
We're also going to invite the other boards. The ZBA, the Board of Adjustments, possibly the Parks Board, because there's some, park dedication stuff in our ordinances that we're gonna talk about. Council's being invited, and a number of staff. So, I mean, we'll have a nice big group.
Good. And we would do that here,
Yes, here.
okay?
Is that all right? So you want to go with the 27th or 28th? Either one.
That is going into a holiday weekend. Do you
Yes.
think that Wednesday would be better?
Better than the
in case
Thursday.
We're trying to get out of
Okay.
town.
So the 27th it is.
Okay.
And so this would start at what time, do you know?
I believe at 9 in the morning. I will get definitive answer on that, but I believe it will start at 9 and be over at like 3 or 4. So like, I think it's only like, what, 6 hours, they said? Yeah. What do you like to eat?
Food.
I know, but it's like there's so much to choose from. Like barbecue,
Yeah.
yeah.
I might have a little digestive issue with barbecue.
You don't do barbecue, okay, that's all right.
I mean, I can, I love barbecue, but if I'm at home, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna have barbecue. All right, well, I'll let them know the 27th is the day. Perfect.
Okay.
If you wanna think about your food choices and send an email, we can,
What I'll do is I'm gonna send an email invitation to everybody on the
Everybody.
boards, and so they can RSVP by a certain date, so I can know how much food to get, and in that email, I'll tell you what we're gonna have for lunch.
perfect.
It'll be good, trust me. I'm thinking Italian.
Oh, that's good.
I love
I can't
Italian.
do pasta
Italian.
either, I'm sorry, guys.
You don't like Italian?
No, I can't, I
Oh.
can't have pasta.
What do you survive on?
Gluten
I'm
free?
sorry.
Oh,
No, it's not that, it's the lectins, so it doesn't matter. if it's gluten-free.
okay, well then, we'll get you a special meal. You just tell me what you
Okay,
need.
you guys order whatever you want, and I'll do my own, I'll bring my own.
Should have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I can't have bread.
I do make a mean peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I do.
I can't remember the last.
tortillas,
time I had
on a
PB
tortilla.
day.
So
That's
is this
bread
the
too.
first group that you've proposed these dates?
Well, you're the one that gets to decide, because it's your training. So everybody else needs to make it.
Yeah, we
Fall in.
Oh, okay.
We're
Yeah.
So,
special,
we're- so we're set for the 27th?
Yes,
then?
sir.
Excellent.
okay?
And that's all I've got.
Is there anything else for anybody?
No, ma'am.
I will, anybody have a motion to adjourn? We got a motion, do we have a second? All in favor, second?
Seconded.
Aye?
Aye.
I did, he did, everybody did,
We all
we all did. We're adjourned.